Have you ever found yourself chasing something or someone, be it recognition, love, or approval, only to feel like the more you pursue, the further it slips away? Why is it that people often value things only when they're scarce or distant? What if the secret to being admired and respected wasn't about chasing at all, but about mastering yourself and letting others be drawn to you naturally? Acharya Chanakya, one of ancient India's greatest philosophers, strategists, and teachers, understood this concept deeply. His wisdom, though centuries old, remains profoundly relevant today. Chanakya taught us that true influence and power come not from seeking external validation, but from cultivating inner strength and self-mastery. Today, let's explore how Chanakya's teachings align with the principles of attraction, respect, and influence, specifically focusing on 7 critical ideas. Chapter 1. Chasing diminishes your value. Chanakya once said, "A person should not be too honest. Straight trees are cut first, and honest people are screwed first." This isn't a call to abandon honesty, but a reminder that showing too much eagerness or vulnerability can invite others to undervalue you. In relationships or ambitions, if you constantly run after someone or something, you signal that your worth depends on them. This desperation diminishes your value in their eyes. Instead, Chanakya advises maintaining a balance. Be approachable, but not overly available. When you respect yourself and your time, others will begin to respect you too. They will see your value not in your chasing, but in your calm confidence. Chapter 2. True attraction comes from confidence. How do you feel when you meet someone who exudes calm self-assurance? Don't they naturally draw your attention? Chanakya emphasized the importance of inner confidence when he said, "Before you start some work, always ask yourself 3 questions. Why am I doing it? What the results might be? And will I be successful?" Confidence stems from clarity. When you're clear about who you are and what you want, you no longer feel the need to chase validation. You become magnetic because your energy radiates purpose and self-assurance. Chanakya's teachings remind us that people are drawn not to the loudest voice, but to the quietest, most resolute presence in the room. Chapter 3. Desperation destroys relationships. Have you ever noticed how desperation, whether in friendships, relationships, or business, pushes people away? Chanakya wisely observed, "As soon as the fear approaches near, attack and destroy it." The fear he speaks of can also be interpreted as fear of losing someone or something. When this fear takes hold, it leads to desperate actions: over-texting, over-apologizing, or overcompensating. Ironically, these actions often drive others further away. Chanakya teaches us to eliminate this fear by focusing inward. When you recognize that your worth isn't tied to someone's approval, you reclaim your power. This calm detachment is far more attractive than any amount of chasing. Chapter 4. Silence and self-mastery speak volumes. Why do we often feel the need to fill every silence, to justify ourselves, or to constantly prove our worth? Chanakya's teachings remind us of the power of restraint. He said, "A man is great by deeds, not by birth." Similarly, a person's influence grows not by their words, but by their actions and demeanor. Silence, when paired with confidence, is powerful. It gives others time to reflect and creates an air of mystery. Instead of chasing, let your actions and presence do the talking. Chanakya's advice here is simple: master yourself, and the world will follow. Chapter 5. Emotional independence is vital. How often do we tie our happiness to someone else's actions? If someone doesn't call, we feel rejected. If someone praises us, we feel elated. Chanakya said, "Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself." One of the greatest mistakes is becoming emotionally dependent on others. Achieving emotional independence means finding your happiness within yourself. When you stop relying on external validation, you become unshakable. Others are drawn to this strength because they sense that you don't need them to complete you. You are already whole. Chapter 6. Absence creates curiosity. Have you noticed that we often value things more when they are no longer easily accessible? Chanakya's wisdom supports this idea. Test a servant while in the discharge of his duty, a relative in difficulty, a friend in adversity, and a wife in misfortune. In other words, distance and challenges reveal the true worth of people and relationships. By pulling back, not out of anger or manipulation, but out of self-respect, you create a space where others can reflect on your value. This absence, paired with confidence, makes others curious. They start to wonder why you're no longer chasing them, and that curiosity can turn into attraction. Chapter 7. Unpredictability reignites interest. Chanakya advised, "The fragrance of flowers spreads only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all directions." Similarly, a predictable, overly available person loses their charm. When your actions are too predictable, people stop seeing you as someone intriguing or worth working for. Instead, focus on being dynamic and multifaceted. Grow intellectually, emotionally, and physically. Pursue your interests and keep evolving. This unpredictability not only keeps others intrigued, but also ensures that you remain deeply connected to your own purpose and joy. Chanakya's teachings guide us to a powerful truth. Respect and influence are never gained through chasing, but through self-mastery. When you focus on your own growth, radiate confidence, and maintain emotional independence, you naturally draw others toward you. So, the next time you feel the urge to chase, whether it's a person, recognition, or success, pause and ask yourself, what would Acharya Chanakya do? He would remind you to stop, to reflect, and to let your value shine through your actions and inner strength. Now moving forward, have you ever wondered why some people are effortlessly respected and admired, while others struggle to gain recognition despite their best efforts? Is it possible that the way we react, communicate, and grow plays a more significant role than we realize? Acharya Chanakya, the master strategist of ancient India, offers timeless lessons on cultivating self-control, emotional strength, and personal growth. Now, let us delve into his teachings and explore how they align with points 8 to 14 on building inner power, mastering emotional control, and creating lasting influence. Chapter 8. Emotional detachment brings clarity. How often do we let someone else's behavior dictate our emotions? A late response, a canceled plan, or a sudden distance can leave us overthinking and reacting impulsively. But Chanakya wisely said, "He who is overly attached suffers pain when separation comes." Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting external situations control your inner peace. When you step back and observe rather than react, you gain clarity. This detachment allows you to respond with wisdom rather than impulsiveness, making you stronger and more respected. Imagine someone pulling away from you. Instead of chasing or demanding answers, you focus inward, showing that your happiness isn't dependent on their actions. This composure speaks volumes and often draws others back toward you. Chapter 9. Understanding and accepting loss. Do you fear losing someone or something? Most of us do, but Chanakya taught, loss is inevitable. Learn to accept it with grace. When we cling to people or possessions, we give them control over us. Instead of fearing loss, embrace it as a natural part of life. Recognize that letting go of what isn't serving you makes room for growth and better opportunities. When you accept loss with strength, you project resilience, a quality that others find incredibly attractive and inspiring. Chapter 10. Avoid chasing. Attract through restraint. Why do we instinctively try harder when we sense someone slipping away? Chanakya's wisdom reminds us of the power of restraint. Do not reveal all your strategies to others. When someone pulls away, the natural reaction is to chase them, but this only lowers your value in their eyes. Instead, practice restraint. Pull back, not out of anger, but to signal self-respect. Your silence creates curiosity, and your calm demeanor makes them question their actions. This shift often leads them to come back to you, realizing what they've taken for granted. Chapter 11. Mastering silence over explaining. Have you ever found yourself over-explaining your feelings or trying to justify your actions? Chanakya said, even if a snake is not poisonous, it should pretend to be venomous. This doesn't mean you should deceive, but it highlights the power of perception. When you over-explain or share too much, you dilute your power. Instead, embrace silence. Let your actions speak louder than words. Silence conveys confidence and leaves others wondering what you're thinking. It shifts the dynamic, putting you in a position of strength. Chapter 12. Preserve your independence. How often do we lose ourselves in trying to please someone else? Chanakya advised, before you allow someone to rule over your mind, ensure they are worthy of it. This means maintaining your independence, emotionally, mentally, and socially. Sacrificing your interests, passions, or friendships for someone else makes you seem too available and less intriguing. Instead, focus on nurturing your own life. Pursue hobbies, spend time with friends, and invest in personal growth. When you have a full, independent life, others are naturally drawn to your strength and self-sufficiency. Chapter 13. Avoid seeking constant reassurance. Do you frequently ask others if they're okay with you, whether they still like you, or if everything is fine between you? Chanakya teaches us to avoid this pitfall, saying, never let your weaknesses be known to others. Constantly seeking reassurance reveals insecurity, which can be a significant turnoff. Instead of asking for validation, practice self-assurance. Believe in your worth and let your confidence do the talking. When you trust yourself and the flow of life, you project a calm, grounded energy that naturally draws others toward you. Chapter 14. Control emotional reactions. How many relationships, whether personal or professional, have been damaged by impulsive emotional reactions? Chanakya emphasized, a wise man should restrain his senses like the crane and accomplish his purpose with due knowledge of his place, time, and ability. When emotions spike, our first reaction is often impulsive, whether it's sending an angry text, shutting down, or reacting in frustration. But impulsive reactions create unnecessary drama and push people away. Instead, pause, reflect, and respond with composure. Imagine someone canceling plans last minute. Instead of reacting emotionally, acknowledge the situation and carry on with your day. This calmness shows that your peace isn't easily disturbed. Over time, people admire and respect those who maintain their dignity in the face of challenges. Acharya Chanakya's teachings remind us that true strength lies in restraint, self-mastery, and emotional independence. When we stop reacting impulsively, seeking constant validation, or sacrificing our independence, we not only gain control over our lives, but also become naturally influential. So, the next time you face rejection, distance, or loss, remember Chanakya's wisdom. Use silence, composure, and personal growth as your tools. Let others wonder about your strength and admire your resilience. Chapter 15. The No Contact Rule. Creating space for reflection. Have you ever tried to hold on to someone by constantly reaching out, only to feel more distant from them? Chanakya believed in creating space. Absence sharpens affection. When someone pulls away, stop all communication for a while. This silence isn't about punishing them. It's about giving both of you the space to reflect. By stepping back, you remind them of your value and allow yourself to focus on your growth. Often, this absence speaks louder than words, making them realize what they've lost. Chapter 16. Building emotional independence. Do you rely on someone else for your happiness? Chanakya taught, he who finds joy within himself is truly free. Cultivate a life that fulfills you, independent of anyone else's actions. Pursue your passions, develop your skills, and surround yourself with positivity. When your happiness doesn't depend on others, you become resilient and magnetic, drawing people toward your strength. Chapter 17. Letting go of fear. How much of your behavior is driven by the fear of losing someone? Chanakya said, fear is the enemy of wisdom. Fear leads to overcompensation, clinging, and unnecessary effort. Let go of the fear of loss and trust that what is meant for you will stay. When you act from a place of confidence rather than fear, you exude strength, making people want to stay in your life. Chapter 18. Avoid overanalyzing and misinterpreting. Do you find yourself overthinking every word or action from someone you care about? Chanakya advised, wisdom comes from clarity, not confusion. When you detach emotionally, you stop overanalyzing and start seeing things as they are. This clarity prevents misunderstandings and unnecessary tension, allowing you to navigate relationships with grace and understanding. Chapter 19. Emotional resilience in uncertainty. What do you do when you feel someone drifting away? Chanakya emphasized, he who stands firm in uncertainty is the true victor. When someone becomes distant, maintain your composure. Instead of reacting or panicking, continue living your life with confidence. Your emotional resilience shows that their actions don't define your worth, making you more attractive and respected. Chapter 20. Focusing on growth during no contact. How do you spend your time when you're not in touch with someone important to you? Chanakya encouraged personal development. He who grows stronger during adversity gains true power. Use this time to invest in yourself. Improve your skills, enhance your health, and pursue your passions. When you emerge as a stronger, more confident version of yourself, you not only regain your own strength, but also become someone others admire and desire. Chapter 21. Turning heartbreak into strength. How do you view heartbreak? Do you see it as the end or as a new beginning? Chanakya believed in transformation. Every setback is an opportunity for growth. Heartbreak can be painful, but it's also a chance to rebuild yourself. Channel your emotions into personal growth, whether it's through learning, fitness, or pursuing a dream. When you transform your pain into progress, you not only heal but also inspire others with your strength. Acharya Chanakya's teachings remind us that true power lies in emotional independence, restraint, and continuous growth. By embracing these principles, you not only navigate relationships with wisdom, but also cultivate a life of dignity and influence. So, the next time you face rejection, loss, or uncertainty, remember Chanakya's words. Use silence, detachment, and growth as your tools. Let your strength and resilience speak louder than words, and watch as others are drawn to your unshakable confidence. Thank you.